If you're leading a large organization or even a small team, change and change management is just a part of life. There are constantly dynamics happening in the external environment as well as internally in your organization that require change, optimization, maybe a tweaking to policy and procedure, or maybe a pivot into an entirely new business. If change is on your doorstep and you're finding it challenging, the key thing is to identify where those challenges are coming from. 9 times out of 10, it's probably the people in your organization. Today, we're going to be talking about how motivation can help you as a leader better manage change within your teams and organizations so that change is easier. If you're new here, my name's Kathy. This is Motivation Code. Motivation Code is an assessment that helps leaders better understand their teams so that they can lead them through change, so that they can lead them to greater fulfillment. If you'd like to learn more, there's links down below. But let's start talking about change. Now, changing a few policies and procedures are pretty simple. You just type up a few policies, procedures, maybe run it by a few people and see if everything makes sense. Even changing markets can be fairly simple if you have the right data in place. Making those decisions is fairly easy. It's guiding the people that can be very challenging. Why is that? Well, typically people like security. They like to know the lay of the land. They like to know what is expected of them. They like to know what they need to do on a daily basis as a part of their job. So when you start changing things and say, this is how your job is changing and this is a new market we're going after, and oh, by the way, you're going to be taking on this additional responsibility, but this person's going to be helping you, it shakes up everything. When you add those kinds of change to a person's job, they can be quite resistant. They're resistant because of fear. They're resistant because of uncertainty. Maybe they doubt whether or not management is making the right decisions. A lot of things can be going through their head, but if you understand how a certain person is motivated, you can make their job change much easier. You can guide them towards whatever is more fulfilling to them. In fact, if you understand what a person's motivational dimension is, then you can actually put together 2 puzzle pieces and show them how their motivational dimension lines up with the benefits of the change that you're bringing forth. This is especially easy when you come across an optimizer on your team. Optimizers love to optimize processes. They like to shortcut things and make things more efficient. So if the change that you're implementing for your organization has some optimization associated with it, you could actually task those people with making that change easier, making optimization easier, because it is in their DNA. They understand what optimization is all about, and they get excited about those things. Now, if you have a relator on your team, relators are very concerned with how people are doing. They are most interested in relationships, and they are motivated and fulfilled by ensuring everybody is on board. A relator can actually ferret out some of the individuals that might have fear and uncertainty around change so that you can better guide them. This is how Motivation Code can be so effective for leaders who are trying to guide their organizations through massive change, can actually find where there might be trouble spots and solve for those very, very quickly. Of course, when your organization is undergoing massive change, making sure that everyone is bought into the vision that you are presenting to the organization is so incredibly important. Leadership's job is to set the vision. The hows of your organization are usually typically handled by managers and people who have boots on the ground, but leaders, your job is to set the vision. It's to be able to tell your organization, here's where we're going, and here's why we're going here. Here's our purpose, and here's our mission, and here's what we're doing in order to change our market, to change our customers' lives, to change the world for the better. In order to do that, you need to have organizational buy-in. You need everyone on the organization to understand the why, the purpose, the mission, and the vision. When everybody can tie into that vision, then making sure organizational change happens is so much easier. Successfully managing change for an organization means that everyone needs to be committed to that vision. Everyone has their own personal purpose and reason why they're a part of your team, part of your organization. Making sure that your vision as an organization and everyone's personal vision are tied together is so important. Understanding the undercurrents of where people are looking for fulfillment in their job is so critical. When you understand where your teams are motivated, managers, leaders, and even coworkers can help each other through the fear and uncertainty that comes along with massive change. When your organization is undergoing a large amount of change, there's a reason why. Sometimes the survival of your entire organization is at stake. Making sure that that change is solidified with everyone in the organization is so critically important. Making sure that people are adapting to the change is critical. When you know you have learners on your team, these people are motivated by learning new things. So a new mission, a new process, a new procedure, a new why is going to excite them. They're going to want to dive deep and understand fully why the organization is changing. They become an asset to your team because then they can communicate and educate others as to why the organization is changing. When you have learners on your team, tap them with diving deep to learn and understand the new markets that you're entering into, new brand developments. If you're going through a rebrand, tap them with understanding the reasons for the rebrand, understanding how customers perceive this, maybe even doing a focus group or two to really dive deep into the psychological reasons why we are rebranding an entire brand. Learners can help others find more comfort and more familiarity in the changes that are happening within an organization. Sustaining change for the long haul is incredibly important as well. If you're pivoting in a big way, there are big reasons why. Sometimes it's all too easy for some people to slip back into old habits. When people are sliding back into old patterns, it's critically important to motivate them into sustaining the change and staying aligned with the vision. It's hard to do if you don't understand why people do things, if you don't understand their why. If you understand someone's motivational dimension, it's so much easier to tie their motivational dimension into the changes that you're making as an organization. Change does not have to be challenging. In fact, change can be a great catalyst towards promoting a culture of resilience for your entire organization, because change is the only constant. Organizations that don't change with their customers, change with their market, end up being their own worst enemies. So when you have organizational change happening, systematize some processes and ensure that all processes within the organization are more resilient to changing market dynamics. Build in processes and procedures periodically with your organization to look at how things are done. Are we still meeting the needs of a market? Are we still meeting the needs of all of the customer segments that we've identified? These types of things can often uncover opportunities for innovation. So if change is happening for you right now, don't see it as a challenge. See it as a catalyst for an opportunity to promote a culture of resilience so that your organization can change going forward quite easily. When you're dealing with change, it's incredibly important to have transparent communication. If change is happening in your organization and leadership isn't communicating why things are changing, that can seed uncertainty and doubt in everyone in the organization. It's really important for leaders to proactively and positively take everyone on the journey of change, on the journey of finding that vision, on the journey of purpose. When everybody knows why they're doing something, the hows becomes so much easier. Invite everyone that is reasonable to participate in organizational change, to communicate to leadership the things that they're seeing, ideas that they have. This type of open-ended communication is where innovation can clearly happen. Of course, when there is change, training and support are incredibly important. Make sure that the people on your team have the education that they need and the training that they need for new policies, new procedures, new ways of doing things so that they can feel empowered and have ownership of the job at hand. And recognize people. If you have achievers on your team, especially, and they are really helping to solidify change within an organization, if they are bringing new ideas forward, recognize them for those types of things, for the achievements that they're bringing to the organization during times of change. They're going to find even more ways to find empowerment in order to make change easier for everyone involved. Effective change management considers human motivation at its core. You need to have your team bought into the change that's happening. from the implementation stages to solidifying those changes as your organization grows forward. And when new challenges come forward and you decide that your organization has to pivot again, ensuring that change is accepted and embraced and sustained over time for the good of everyone on the team is so critically important. If your organization is going through change, and it probably is because change is the only constant, our team can help you better understand your people so that change can be a positive experience for your organization and not something to fear. Thanks for watching.